This is On Base, your one-stop shop for solving your most pressing B2B go-to-market challenges. Each week, hosts Chris Moody and Paul Gibson talk to sales and marketing leaders to get you in-depth insights and creative strategies to set your revenue teams up for success.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I'm your host, Ryan Schimmel. Today, I'm super excited to talk with Rebekah Gardner and Jason Keever on the evolution of the tax industry, navigating digitalization and future frontiers. Rebekah is a relationship-focused global sales leader with over 20 years of experience as a federal tax partner. She has a proven track record across multiple industries and from small businesses to Fortune-ranked companies. Her expertise spans private equity, strategic partnerships, and software channels, all underscored by a commitment to collaboration, accountability, and achieving results. Jason, also based in Dallas, serves as the president of Ryan's Tax.com division. With over 15 years of experience in driving revenue for private equity-backed, high-growth SaaS companies, he leads the executive team in expanding technology services for existing clients and also venturing into new markets. Jason's previous leadership roles include Chief Revenue Officer, President, Chief Sales Officer, and VP of Sales across various industries. Rebekah and Jason, I'm excited to host you both on the podcast. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Ryan. Glad to be here. There really isn't anything more exciting to talk about on a Friday morning than tax.
Morning, Ryan.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, it's great having you both. I am excited to have you both on the podcast. This is very much a twofer. Normally, we're one-on-one, so this should be interesting. But let's jump right in, and we'll kind of play off one another as we kind of go through this.
Sounds good.
So maybe, Rebekah, I'll open up with you, and of course, you can pass it off to Jason as you deem appropriate. But talk to our listeners a little bit about how the tax industry has evolved in recent years to keep up with digitalization and the changing needs of clients.
Wow. Yeah. So, I joke and say that it's maybe not the most exciting topic to talk about on a Friday morning, but really the tax industry has evolved tremendously, not only over the last few years, but really ever since I stepped into this industry 20 plus years ago. It has been constant change, not just with the laws. Everybody knows things are changing all the time, what you can deduct, what you can't deduct. But what we've seen recently is this drive to figure out how to do the work that we do faster and more efficiently, and using all of those technologies that we all know about that are coming fast and furiously. So at Ryan, what we are trying to figure out is how do we meet those demands from our clients to do our work faster, leveraging those technologies. Because as we can do that, that means we can spend more time thinking about ways to save our clients money. And that's why it's such a powerful thing that we have, business that we have with Jason in-house, where they're developing the products to do those types of services faster. It's a great partnership. Jason, tell us a little bit about your perspective on that.
Yeah, happy to. And that's why I'm here, Ryan. So I'm relatively new to Ryan and new to tax.com. And the driving reason is all the change and disruption that's available in the current tax environment. There are tectonic kind of shifts, as we all know about. And I would imagine we're going to get to in this podcast around AI, generative AI, and things that really apply themselves to our industry. And really, tax is on the cusp of reaping the benefits from a lot of these new technologies that are available. And so I'm at a very privileged spot to be able to lead a world-class tax platform that serves both our external customer needs on all things tax across the entire corporate landscape, as well as empowering Ryan with some of the things that Rebekah mentioned of being faster, being more efficient, more accurate, more precise, and then embedding these tectonic new innovations like generative AI and others into their processes. I think it's an extraordinarily exciting time to be here. Rebekah, I'll talk to you about tax on Saturday and Sunday as well. So I'm all in. I'm excited about it and looking forward to the future. I think it's ripe.
Well, and it's interesting. Obviously, I've been selling tax services for the majority of my career. And we used to be able to go out and sit with our clients and only talk about the changes and the tax code and regulations and how smart we were and how we knew our way through all of that. But now, one of the prominent pieces of the conversation is inevitably, what technology are you using to get this done? How are we certain that you are doing this in the most efficient way? And if we can't deliver on that technology piece, we're out of the running. That used to not even be a question. And so we have to be at the forefront of that to be able to win in the sales channel.
Rebekah, that's a really interesting point. So I will just share with our listeners that I started speaking with you guys, a couple months ago, and I have learned a ton about the tax industry in that very short amount of time. It's not kind of the stodgy old, to your point, hey, what's changed? And then let's just update everything. So along those lines, I know Ryan is well known as a professional services tax firm, but you guys are also now pretty well ingrained in this whole technology and software for tax and to build efficiency. If you're like my law firm customers, then there are probably some silos between different practice groups and maybe the professional services versus product. One, I guess, do you experience that? And two, how are you kind of dealing and working through those conflicts, if you will?
We have no idea what you're talking about at all.
Yeah, no, that's something very foreign to us. Maybe next question.
Yes, next question. That's right.
We're coming off of a week of an executive offsite, right, where we address a lot of these types of conversations and silos that do exist. And I think it's helpful that at least, as a new executive entering into an organization, when you do see these types of silos, you got to realize that one, silos are a lagging indicator. So it's a lagging indicator of something else that's a misalignment or not functionally appropriate. And so you kind of go through some of what would be like Lencioni's pyramid, right? So what are the elements that are missing between our teams that we need to focus on that are creating this situation of silos? And so whether it's trust, right? So again, new executive coming in, I don't have a lot of history. A lot of people want to bring me into that history. What I want to focus on is how do we build that first platform foundation of trust between our teams? And that comes out in more communication, most likely, right? Is there an element missing in accountability or performance or these other types of things that they just haven't had? And therefore, everyone kind of creeps back into their silos. And so that's kind of the way I think about it. We spent time on it on this executive offsite this week. It wasn't too far offsite. It's still in Dallas. It could have been maybe we go to an island somewhere one day. But anyway, we spent a lot of time on it because it is important. It's important for us to operate as a company, a cohesive company for the benefit of the customer.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Jason's comments about we have to build trust between the teams on his side, which is product, and then my team, which is typically talking about our core professional services. That is critical. But we're talking about sales, right? And at the end of the day, from an internal perspective, people want to be compensated for going to market together. And that is something that Jason and I are also squarely focused on, is how do we make sure that our teams are compensated for doing this together? And so one thing that we're also talking about is making sure that at the forefront of all of our thoughts is the client experience, right? If we're sitting at the table with our clients and they're asking us, what is the technology piece of this that is going to allow you to do this most efficiently? Because we know that your services are excellent. We know that you are delivering an enormous amount of value to us in tax savings, but we expect you to do it with software or with a product. Then we need our teams going out together. And so it is mine and Jason's responsibility to make sure that our teams are incented to do that together in a collaborative manner so that the client has the best experience and experiences the best of Ryan in that way. So Jason and I are very squarely focused on that.
Incented and enabled as well, right? Empowered, have the right content, the right message, the right, the right information that they can provide these high value engagements with their customer is also, is part of it. So I think you call it one of our big rocks, right? Rebekah,
yes.
It's one of our big rocks. It's so important, Ryan. It's one of our big rocks. How do you like that?
So I like it.
I do like a big rock committee. That is true.
She loves it. Those are good.
Okay. Well, so you guys are sharing some things that I think are, part and parcel of the way all of our customers work, right? They have different strategies across different groups, but ultimately the entire sales group needs to be aligned. And if I hear you correctly, really what you're saying is it all starts with the customer. So what does the customer need? And then we align around those objectives. That's perfect. So, hey, switching gears here for just a minute, admittedly, most people, I think that tax is old and boring and stodgy. And, where is the innovation in all of that? But you really opened my eyes to how the tax industry has become quite innovative. So I guess my next question is, how do you balance innovation through, new product development while also maintaining client relationships that know you for your professional services and the professional experience that they receive?
I'm going to challenge that a little bit, right? So I spent the better part of my career with some of our competitors who are more of the traditional Big Four accounting types who are focused on compliance, right? And some consulting projects that drive cash back into the business. But Ryan's brand has always been thinking outside of the box and delivering innovative value to the clients so that our clients, never pay a penny more in taxes than they are supposed to. We firmly believe that our clients should pay the tax that they owe, but no more. And a part of our culture has always been thinking through the way to make sure we are delivering on that promise to our clients. So even before software was a thing in this realm, we were very thoughtful in how we delivered on that value promise. So it is a very natural thing in our ecosystem to now bring tax.com, which is our product part of the business, in and say, okay, we're already extremely innovative and coming up with ideas that are allowable under the laws and regulations. We're doing it on this side of the business, but now our clients are demanding something else. So on our product and platform side, go. Now we have to deliver on our brand promise over there. So it is something that has always been woven into the culture of Ryan because we were purpose-built to deliver on this inside of the tax industry, which has historically, you're right, been a little stodgy and been a little, just follow the rules and don't think beyond that. But Ryan has always had a different brand promise. And so it makes a lot of sense for us to be stepping into this technology realm, sort of eyes wide open. Jason, what do you think about that?
I agree with you wholeheartedly. Listen, we're all consumers on a personal level of technology, right? Whether it's the mobile apps we have on our phone, booking travel, grabbing food, doing whatever. And we're bringing that to work. We're bringing that to our work environment. We're bringing those expectations to how we work. It shouldn't be the case where we walk in the door and then all of a sudden, walk in the door to our office and all of a sudden we're gone completely analog, right? And so I think there's some areas in tax that is the case. And it is, to Rebekah's point, it is Ryan that is going to be the innovator in this space to be able to do it. We're uniquely positioned. We're uniquely focused on corporate tax. And we have the breadth of data that's going to help empower that type of movement in the market. So the customers are demanding it. They're bringing their consumer interactions and their consumer life to work. And we're meeting them right there.
Our clients expect it from us. They always have. And if we fall down now on the product piece of it, it would be an unmet expectation that they already have of us. And so it's just who we are.
Well, Rebekah, thank you for that. So I'm curious, AI seems to be a part of every podcast discussion I'm having now. It is pervasive. You can't get away from it. I'm curious, has AI made its way into the tax space at all?
Well, it definitely has, but I'm going to get away from this question and pass it over to Jason because he's the real expert on this. So Jason, this one's all you.
There it is, an expert. I am far from an expert, but it is part of tax.com strategy. It's part of Ryan's greater strategy, and happy to kind of share some insight on this. And it is, Ryan, to your point, it is in every facet of business. It's in every niche. I was listening to a podcast yesterday. They were interviewing the CTO of the CIA and their initiative on artificial intelligence and AI and stuff. And so while ours are very dissimilar to probably their interests and things that they're doing, it just serves the point that everyone is looking at this, what I called earlier, this tectonic innovation, and seeing how it can improve the customer experience, the client relations, and overall the efficiencies of the business. If you think about the tax industry, Ryan, every year we get, if you're a homeowner, you get an assessment from your local assessor, right? You get this piece of paper in the mail. And then we've got other types of paper. Government loves paper and they love PDFs, and they send a lot of them when it comes to taxes. Well, our customers are no different, except the task is monumental. We get hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of PDFs from all sorts of jurisdictions across the United States and globally about our customers' tax. And so if you think of, I can't think of a better application of AI than reducing the workload that it takes to, search in a file system of finding the right PDF for a customer, finding the zip code that's on there, the amount, and then having multiple screens on your desk and trying to type that into over here and this and that, et cetera. So we're excited about the possibility of artificial intelligence, of AI, that takes it past OCR and some legacy technology and more intelligent document processing and being able to really understand in a very variable, very disjointed nature, because all these documents are different. They're highly variable from the different jurisdictions our customers get them from, and being able to distill that information and data down in a meaningful way for both our consultants and our customers on their behalf, and leverage it at the right place at the right time. So that's just one example. The larger thing here at play is that Ryan has been in business for over 30 years, accumulating a lot of similar types of data. We are fully hydrated with incredible data from our experience. And we are very excited about what type of, I would call it, a unique, unfair advantage that provides us to better serve our customers and really be the leader in this area for tax.
Who knew tax would be so exciting, Jason?
We warned you, Ryan. We warned you. Hold on your boots.
Who even needs coffee on a Friday morning when you have discussions about tax? Come on.
That's right. This is exciting. Well, guys, listen, it's been great having you on the podcast. Our listeners are sure to eat this up. I'm curious, are there any good books or blogs or newsletters or podcasts? What are you guys reading and listening to these days?
I usually have about 3 going at a time. The books will kind of bounce off. I'm constantly reading. Right now, I'm on Frank Slootman's. He's the former CEO of Snowflake. He's was former CEO of ServiceNow, et cetera. And so he's got a new book out, or a newish book out. It's called Amp It Up. It talks a lot about driving corporate culture and holding people accountable, and his style of management. I think it's amazing. Claire Hughes Johnson, former CEO of Stripe, she's got an amazing book. It's more of a reference book. It's pretty big, pretty heavy, hard to travel with, but it's called Scaling People. And then because this is kind of a market-oriented, my OG, Robert Cialdini, influence is still always an arm's length away when I want to think about reciprocity and all the other types of things that go into buyer behavior that I can incorporate into our sales strategy.
So I have a couple podcasts that I really like. One of them is a little bit old school in the sense that it's been going on for a while, but Reid Hoffman's Masters of Scale. I really like how he thinks about doing things. I'm listening to one called All In right now, some tech guys and different challenges that folks are facing out in the market. And then from a book perspective, I really like the old, called a classic, Good to Great. I think a lot about some of the concepts that are in that when it just comes to how to run a business and how to make decisions. And then I'm a huge Brené Brown fan. I've read all of Brené's books. And so when it comes to business, her Dare to Lead book is one of my favorites.
She's pretty amazing.
Those are my go-tos.
That's awesome. And what's interesting is so many of those books, they've been around forever, and we just keep consuming them because the lessons are timeless.
That's right.
Well, Rebekah and Jason, thank you so much. It was great to have you on the podcast. I appreciate you sharing your thoughts and insights with our listeners.
Thanks. Happy to be here.
Thanks for joining us for On Base. If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to share, rate, review, and subscribe on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. This show is brought to you by Demandbase, the only account-based experience platform built for sales and marketing alignment.